Hi, in this video you will learn how to use the shell feature in Onshape. So as you can see, I'm on my Onshape hold screen and I'm going to create a document and label it shell tutorial. You can label yours anything, but I suggest you label it something related to shell. I'm going to click enter or the blue OK button to confirm the creation of the document. As you can see here, I'm on my Onshape home screen for creating. I'm going to make sure that my workspace units are in inches by going to the hamburger, clicking, and going to workspace units, and making sure it's in inches. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a sketch on the top plane. So that means I'm going to hide the front and the right plane, click on the top plane, right click, click viewed normal, and start a sketch. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create some type of figure. I want to create a rectangular prism and I want to make sure I'm using a center point rectangle. So I want it to be aligned with the origin, but I'm not exactly sure if I want I want my center point of the rectangle to be at the origin. I'm just going to have to see. So I made my rectangle. I'm going to dimension it to 5 inches by 5 inches. So essentially, I want to make mine to a square, I mean a cube. So 5 inches by 5 inches, enter. Okay, so now I want to make sure that my center point and and the center point of the origin is exactly in the same spot. I mean, I could have done this by just hovering over, but I just wanted to show you a constraint called the coincidence constraint, or however you, hold on, coincident, coincident, dimension. So what you have to do is when you're trying to coincident two parts, you're trying to combine two midpoints, align them. So what you're going to do is you're going to select your first midpoint and your second midpoint, and there's you are. They're fully constrained. And now even if you drag it, even if you try to drag the square off of the origin, it's always not going to move because you fully constrained it. So this is all I want to do for the sketch. I'm going to click the green check button to finish the sketch. Now I'm going to extrude it to 5 inches because I want to make this a cube. And I'm going to click the green check button. So let's just make sure our extrusion has been successful. We're going to go to camera and render options, go to isometric, and yay, our extrusion has been done successfully. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the shell because I want a hollow cube, or I want a cube that is sort of empty on the inside. So the difference between, so when you click on the shell, it'll give you a hollow and the faces to remove. When you're doing shell, it automatically hollows out. But if you don't want to remove any faces, you can just click hollow and how far you want to shell. So what this does is you can just hollow your figure out without actually removing your without actually removing anything, without removing any face. So if you click on hollow, you can actually hollow out the figure without removing any sides. So that's basically the summary of it. So when I click on hollow, it'll ask you what part you want to remove. I chose part one because obviously if I want to hollow something out, that's the only part I have. So before we actually get into hollow, I just want to show you what shelling actually does. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to remove a face. And as you can see here from the top view, if I were to create a sketch and try and see the dimension of how far it is, the distance between this edge and this edge is always going to be zero point 0.1 inches. That's how thick your border is going to be. So say I don't want my shell to be that thin. I want it to be, I don't know, maybe an inch. So if I click enter, it's going to give you a preview. So if you're going to measure the distance between this edge and this edge is going to be 1 inch. So the shell thickness is basically how much of the border you want to leave back. So, okay, that makes sense. So I hope this shows you how shell actually works. So it basically hollows out your figure. So now let's move on to hollow. If you want your hollow, then you're not going to be able to remove any faces because hollow makes hollows out from the inside. It doesn't remove any faces, so that's why you're not able to see. And even if you were to try to shell this afterwards and remove a face, here, watch. So I chose part one. I wanted to hollow it out to 1 inch. I'm going to click the green check. And now if I were to shell this again, it's not going to allow you to do it because you chose hollow. You chose to hollow it out, but not remove any faces. So you're basically contradicting each other. You're contradicting both shells. So I deleted that. And hold on, before we go, I absolutely am starting to despise this color blue. And so I actually decided to make this entire part a different color. So I'm going to go to the parts tab, right click, and go to assign, not assign material, oops. Go to edit appearance, and I'm going to click on mixer because all of these are pretty standard colors. Oh, I love, hold on, sorry, I got confused there. Ooh, I love this nice light teal shade. I want it to be a nice dark teal. Oh, wow, so beautiful. So I'm going to make this a green check and confirm it. Oh, it looks so much better. This is actually one of my favorite colors, so just saying. And I'm actually going to show you what the shell looks like if I wasn't going to do hollow. So I'm going to delete the shell by coming to the feature section, right clicking on shell one, and clicking on delete. So I'm going to click on shell, and I'm going to remove this face. And I hope you can see how it's been hollowed out with the shape of the border, like your actual cube. It's been hollowed out in the shape of a cube. So yeah, that's it for this video. I hope this helped you understand what shell does and how to use shell. And yeah, thank you so much. Bye. I hope to see you in the next video. And as always, if you have any questions, please be sure to post them in the comments. Bye.